So tonight I scuffed up the carbon rods with some 80 grit sandpaper real quick just to get some scratches in them for the glue to set in, and I used a little CA, foam safe CA, and glued the carbon fiber spar in that half of the fuselage and also in this side of the fuselage, and we'll just set those aside to dry. I also did my work on the vertical fins, stabilizers, rudder, whatever you want to call them. We know it's a VTEL. I used a hot knife and made my servo bays a little longer so I could get just a hair of clearance on the control horn side. Glued in the carbon fiber rods and the servos. Again, just enough clearance so it doesn't touch. And those two will sit there and dry. Did the same thing for the aileron servos. Made the holes a little bigger with a hot knife. Glued those in. Again, might have a little extra clearance. I just don't have a steady hand. All I need is clearance, and that's about what I got. So there's the two wings glued, two VTELs, and the fuselage. So that's pretty much ready to go there. Let that dry for a day, and then we'll come back and continue along. This is the hardware for the servos, for the VTELs and ailerons. Got 4 horns, some linkages here. You can see there's 2 long ones, and then there's 2 shorter ones in this group. I just don't trust these little short control horns, so I found some in the drawer of the type I really love. They're the type that goes all the way through, and then a piece goes on the other side, so it glues on both sides. I'm going to set these 4 that came with the mini Talon aside and substitute 4 of the ones that go all the way through that I like better. I can do that. So there's the 4 control horns, there's push rods, but I also, for the short ones, just do like these. I had some of these left over from a Bixler 2 actually. So for these short 2 right here in this group, I'm going to use the clevest ones, I guess you would call them, in place of just a straight rod. So basically I will be using 2 of the push rods that came with the mini Talon, the 2 long ones. We'll use those. We'll set these 2 aside for another build, and instead of using these, I'm going to use these at this point. These don't glue in, so if this doesn't work out the way I want it to, I'll just go back to the other 2 that came with the mini Talon. So we'll let the parts dry, and then tomorrow when everything's dry, we will put this hardware onto the 4 servos and move on. I went ahead and did that one more step. Put a little CA on those control horns and ran them through and pushed the backing side down. Let that dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll cut that excess off right there. I prefer that. I just really do like those kind of control horns. I have never had problems with the others, but I just think there's a difference in them. So there's the 2 on the VTELs, and then here you can see that I also did the 2 control horns on the ailerons and set them aside to dry. So again, that's just sitting to dry until tomorrow. I know I keep saying until tomorrow and doing another step, but that's just me.